sports infrastructure in India was in shambles and still we are nowhere. We have not seen the sunrise yet. I always say that we are at 3 a.m. in the morning. India has 150 track and field and maybe around 150 hockey fields. In China, there are 2,09,300 recorded track and fields. The last 8 years, we changed 200 plus schools into playing arenas, and the schools are loving it. Innovations. As a company, we are the first one who have introduced 100% recyclable turf. Like we just signed with one of the largest shoe manufacturers in India, and now we are their sustainable partners and licensees in India, and using their old and discarded shoe soles and then grind them and use that rubber for our sports grounds. We are thinking way ahead of everyone else in this country. People who have money don't play, and people who don't have money wants to play, or they have the talent.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. Today is National Sports Day, a day where we highlight the values of sports while promoting fitness and well-being at large. And on this special occasion, we've got with us Mr. Nasir Ali, who is the founder and CEO of Gallant Sports and Infra Limited, which is one of South Asia's leading sports infrastructure provider and specializes in international standard sports infrastructure design, deployment, and maintenance. Mr. Nasir Ali, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you very, very much for bringing us here. Looking forward to speak to you.
Very curious to understand what drew you to the space and how did the transformation occur?
Always passionate about sports. I was a player throughout my schooling and college days. But in 2015 and 16, I visited Europe and China a couple of times and realized how far we are from reality of sports. Basically, the sports infrastructure in India was in shambles and still we are nowhere. We have not seen the sunrise yet. I always say that we are at 3 a.m. in the morning. Even the sunrise is far. So yeah, this is one of the reasons that made me think about sports, and then I thought, let's start a sporting infrastructure company, which we started in 2016. India has 150 track and field and maybe around 150 hockey fields. In China, there are 2,09,300 recorded track and fields. So can you imagine the kind of differentiation which is there between a country like India and China, which has similar population? So these are some of the reasons that I thought this is the right time to enter the market.
You also mentioned that you played sport as a youngster, right? Tell us how important that experience was and how you channelized that while growing the business.
I was always into sports. I also used to do treks and used to do a lot of traveling was one of my passions. But sports was always a passion. I still play tennis every day. Yeah, this was one of the main reasons for us to get into sports. Most of the people working in our company are very, very passionate about sports. That's one of the first things we check in a person, that whether you play or not. Because we don't want to have team members who themselves are not playing and then asking others to play.
And then you decided to start the enterprise, right? So when you did begin, Mr. Ali, what was your core vision for the company, and how has that evolved over the years?
Of course, I have spoken about passion for sports, but one of the main reasons we thought of making this company Gallant Sports is that our school infrastructure or the university infrastructure, from where most of the players, most of the champions comes from, they are in a bad shape. Like most of the schools are having a mud field or a concrete where they are playing basketball or tennis, or some places they have just painted the concrete and and said that this is our tennis court or this is our volleyball court. So we thought that let us change the way schools thinks about sport. Let them start thinking that this is also a computer lab. Sports is also a kind of lab. It is also kind of arena. We just went to schools and then we started telling them that this is not what you call a sporting facility. You have to give the right kind of surfaces, injury-free surfaces at the right age, right, for the kids to play. So luckily we managed to speak to a lot of schools, and in the last 8 years we have done 200 plus. We changed 200 plus schools into playing arenas, and the schools are loving it. And similarly, we did a lot of universities, because the champions goes to the universities, and those are the students who represents India in the Olympics or Asian Games or Commonwealth Games.
So we'd love for you to share with us some anecdotes about these projects, stories that you might want to share, and also challenges that you might have faced and how you came those.
Nice. Like Tawang is very special to us because, of course, it is being used by the Indian Football Federation for their high altitude training. But we made two fields in Tawang, one Tawang and Jung. They are very close by 30-40 kilometers apart from each other. We not only had to fight snow while building these facilities, cold weather, but most difficult for us was that one of our trucks fell into the gorge and 600 feet down, and the driver and the helper could not survive. So these are some of the challenges we face when we build these sports facilities in different terrains. There's sometimes rain, sometimes it is monsoon, which is never rains are going on and on for months, and sometimes we have high altitude sickness, but we feel proud when we make it, and when the children and when the players are using those facilities in maybe in Tawang and all. Another very nice example is that we made under CSR for Royal Enfield, I think maybe the world's highest football field at 15,000 feet height, and the challenge there was acclimatization for laborers, and most of them fell sick. So the whole village helped us in finishing that project, which was in 300-400 kilometers from even Leh. So it is towards the China border. But these are the fascinating stories which we can share, that these are the kind of facilities we make in Northeast or Ladakh, or even in South, or we have done projects in Bhutan also. So yeah, these are some of the fascinating stories.
Yes, and it's interesting listening to you share those. Tells me that it's impossible to pull these projects off without local support, right? And that's extremely important. I understand, right? Let's move on, Mr. Ali, and talk a little bit about some of the services, products of the company, and how innovation takes place at Gallant, right? I understand that from artificial grass to stadium lighting, flooring, consulting, Gallant operates across multiple verticals. Can you tell us how Gallant's products and services are different from those being offered in the marketplace?
So we always believed in two things when we started this company. Was we wanted to give the right injury-free world-class surfaces, basically sports surfaces from where you play, and at the right prices, because India is and always will be a price-sensitive market. Like it cannot be like USA, Europe, or Australia, where the prices have gone to a different level. It will take decades for reaching there. So that was one of the main reasons for us to succeed, is that we tried to get the best products from China, from Vietnam, from many other, Malaysia, many other countries, from where we could source the right products at the and then give them at the right prices. Secondly, it has also like we have always told everybody that right age the athletes needs the right sports surfaces, so that they can try and play in the right surfaces. Like I've always given this example that if you are a race driver and like you are driving a Maruti 800 and then suddenly you are given a F1 car to drive, you will not be able to drive. So generally, these are the kinds of things which is happening in India, that you are playing in a mud ground, you're very talented, you are a terrific dribbler, but then when you go to an astroturf ground, you cannot play because the balls are running at a different speed. You're more slippery, or you don't have that bounce. So these are the things which kept us apart, that we tried to bring the right products for the Indian market. We grew from 1 crore to almost 100 crore company in 8 years. So yeah.
You've set an ambitious goal of making Gallant a 1,000 crore enterprise in the next 5 years, I understand. So, what are the key growth drivers and strategies that you will be focusing on to achieve this vision?
Thanks for asking this question. Actually, we are trying to be the first company in India to go for an SME IPO within the next 6 months. So the ambition is, of course, there. We want to do 1,000 crores in the next 5 years. As I stated earlier, also that India has not seen the sunrise. We have a dream to do the Olympics in the next 12 to 16 years. We need playing fields for every sport in every small town, every district, every village. We have to grow not 100 times, actually, we have to grow 1,000 times as a country in sports. Our challenge in the future would be execution. And thus, we are trying to train new dealers. We are going the distribution way. We are trying to make more hands. We want to multiply our work rather than adding our work, because we cannot do smaller projects in smaller towns, because see, the geography of the country is very vast. Districts are so there are, I think, 500 plus districts, and everybody needs now sporting facilities. So yeah, our idea is that we don't only work in education sector, we also work in the distribution and dealer network. And government is going to be one of our focus, that we want to do large government projects like athletic tracks, hockey fields, football fields, indoor stadiums, and these kind of things. So yeah, I think it is very much achievable, 1,000 crore.
I want to get your perspective on the Indian sporting culture, uh, whether it is the grassroots development, athlete support, community engagement. What's your perspective on the larger sports ecosystem in India today?
The government of India is the only player who's trying to build those facilities in the grassroots. But I think corporates under CSR or private sector has to come and make these sports facilities in grassroots, because the talent is there. One of the things in India which is very unfortunate is that people who have money don't play, and people who don't have money wants to play, or they have the talent. So this is a big gap here. So this has to be filled, because most of the players who are coming in India are from Jharkhand or Northeast or Andhra or Odisha, and that too from tribal belt or from grassroots or from smaller towns. So there are not enough players coming from large towns, and people who are more well off. So this is one of the challenges.
What lessons do you think India can onboard, lessons from other cultures to sort of accelerate its sporting ecosystem?
Engage with a ball or with a team member or a player or opponent, it's a kind of meditation. You cannot think of anything else when you are playing. So play for making friends, play for and try and bring your children into habit of playing, because it remains with you forever.
We now move into the final segment of this particular interaction. We have to talk about the National Sports Day. Today, of course, is National Sports Day. It is a day where we honor Major Dhyan Chand and celebrate India's sporting spirit. For you personally, right? You've played sport, like you mentioned, you continue to play sport every day, tennis for that matter. What does the occasion mean to you personally and professionally?
For India to be a developed nation or a nation which is called a developed nation, sports has to be a focus. Like I've always tried to say that sports should be the main subject and not a co-curriculum subject that like SUPW or any other subject in schools. Sports should be one of the main subjects to where everybody should be playing. We have to get back to gullies and parks to play. The children are not playing enough. We have to play for not only health, we have to play for meditation. As I was saying, that when you are engaged with a ball or with a team member or a player or opponent, it's a kind of meditation. You cannot think of anything else when you are playing.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Nasir Ali, the founder and CEO of Gallant Sports and Infra Limited, which is one of South Asia's leading sports infrastructure provider. Thank you very much for watching this broadcast on the bridge.in. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.